Hi my dear watercolor friends. Today I'd like to show you the brushes I use for my loose watercolors, and I think I'm going to present you a little demonstration for each brush in a small series about loose brush painting. So these are the brushes I mainly use. These are flat brushes, a pretty huge one. So this is a real nice brush for expressive watercolor painting. It's from the German Watercolor Club, and the company is Lineo. And these are two pretty cheap Chinese brushes. I bought them in a food store in Amsterdam for €1 or something like that each. 6 years ago I still use them, I love them, and I will start to demonstrate how to work and how to paint with these. And then last but not least we have this pointer brush by Alvaro Castanet. So this one has a pretty strong and fine tip, and you can do so beautiful expressive lines and everything. I'll show you later. So for the first demonstrations I used this smaller paper, which is a pretty nice paper by De Leroni for watercolor sketches and everything. I use this when I go outside to paint too. So I prepare this just a little bit. I put down a little bit of kitchen towel under the first sheet so that the paint is not going through the paper. So first of all, I'd like to show you the possibilities with this larger Chinese brush. So I just use some Paynesgrey for this demonstration. It's just a start, so you can paint pretty expressive with it. And you have a huge variety how you can put in brush strokes. So everything is possible, from ultra fine lines to these kind of shapes. So you see, it's really fun to paint with this one. Another beautiful thing about this brush is that it takes up a lot of paint, so you can continue to make your brush strokes for a while. So even bigger shapes are possible with this wonderful brush. I hope you can see that the hair of these brushes, I don't know about the material, to be honest, but it's pretty soft, so you can even do this pretty wet washes with it. And of course we can sprinkle So I can really recommend painting a lot of these small sketches that are only about loosening up and exploring the possibilities of your brushes. Because I think this is essential about a loose watercolor painting, that you just don't try to control too much, but use the opportunities that the brush gives you. This is probably not the best painting in it. It doesn't matter, because this is just warming up. I will show you another exercise with this brush in a larger format in a minute. So you can use it a little bit more dry also. And of course, fantastic for wet and wet too. So this brush is a really all-rounder, so you can really paint your whole watercolor with this one brush. So for the next practice, I just got a larger sheet of watercolor paper. It's a pretty cheap paper by Hanemühle. I think it's just 50-60 cents per sheet. It's called Allegretto. It has a little bit rough surface. I use it mainly for these practices and warm-ups. Okay, and a good subject to train for loose painting are trees, because they live from the expression in your brush stroke. I'm just trying to sketch a gnarly tree. Just by using all the possibilities of my brush. You see, I'm using the paper structure here, and then I combine it with some expressive lines, and also adding variety inside. We can suggest branches, so beside vary between the amounts of water I use, I also vary in the amount of paint. So this way it's pretty easy to combine more dry strokes with wet strokes, which I think makes it more lively. Maybe one more branch here. And fern growing down here. So we can add a horizontal line, maybe here, and some old fans. So now I'm just trying to suggest a little bit of background. So there are hundreds and thousands maybe possibilities to bring in variation to these brush warm-ups. They should always be playful, just without thinking how the picture could be, just just playing around with a brush. This is what all this is about. So if you'd like to try this, just make sure that you don't look for details. Just try to find out what works for you when you try to bring your personal movement and soul to the paper. So I think my mobile phone will be pretty messed up after this, but I wanted to show you the brush in action a little bit closer. So this was the idea behind it. So next I need a little bit more dark tones. I use some Paynesgrey, almost as it comes from the tube. Just a little bit of water, but now it's getting real dark. Look at these. So this is in fact the way I paint most of my trees. Sometimes in black and white, sometimes in color. Can add a little bit darkness here too. No, I like messy painting. Little bit more life here. I think I should leave it this way, because like I said, it's just a little demonstration for this Chinese brush. So when you try to find something like that, just the best way is to go to a Chinese food store and ask them if they have these brushes for calligraphy, and then you just take them in your hand and look if they build a good tip and if the hair is soft, so that you can really do everything from squeezing to fine lines. Okay, thank you for watching and have fun with your brushes.